Vivek Ramaswamy is going to give his take. I wanted to make sure that we got a political correspondent or somebody that's in the political spaces take on this upcoming debate. I would encourage you guys to watch the debate tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to review it simply because I got to assist my homeboy in doing a live stream on Fox tonight from my studio. So he hit me up. He said, Anton, I want to be able to come through and get the good mics and get the good stuff over there. So I'm going to help my homeboy tonight, and we're going to see what's happening. I'm not sure what time I'm going to stream on after hours, but we're going to figure it out. Vivek Ramaswamy gave a couple different takes on Trump in this upcoming debate. So let's get into it, y'all.
Former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy joins us now. Vivek, what's going to happen Thursday?
Well, the reality is the Democrats have set the expectations rock bottom low. Keep in mind, back in 2012, when Obama showed up in that first debate versus Romney, it was the other way around. Expectations were high and Obama bombed. So they've tried to set up Biden as well as they possibly can. A 3-on-1 debate versus Trump that includes the two CNN moderators, with expectations set rock bottom and no live audience. If Biden still fails in that circumstance, I think he is done as the candidate. But they've tried their best to set themselves up for a win-win. Yet my best advice to President Trump is just be yourself. The American people are sick of being fooled by the media. They're going to see through the media's tricks. Just tell the people what your record was, compare that to Biden's, and I think that President Trump, nonetheless, despite the way they've set this up, is still going to be able to succeed in a big way.
I think that Vivek is probably one of the most dangerous people to ever go up against. 100%. I think that he already got a spot secured in the Trump administration should Trump become president of the United States of America. I think that this guy is incredibly wise. He's probably a future president of the United States of America, hopefully, because he's incredibly smart. This dude, he is very, very smart. He don't stumble over his words. He don't make no mistakes. He articulates himself well. He's already become successful in the United States of America. I would be surprised if Vivek is not the vice president, if he's not Trump's VP pick. I would be very, very surprised if Vivek was not the VP pick for Trump. 100%. The dude is absolutely dangerous. But here's my other question as we evaluate this. Is there anything that can be said in this debate that's going to swing y'all one way or the other? Because I'm not sure what this debate is for outside of entertainment purposes. It's to hammer home what we already believe about a lot of these people. We already know exactly what it's like to live through both presidencies. We experienced Trump from 2016 through 2020. We experienced Biden from 2020 through 2024. I think that most people, if you're above the age of 55 and you're a black man, you're probably going to go the same way as Roland Martin and vote for Biden. We know that. Don't matter how many migrants get in. Don't matter how bad inflation is. Don't matter, right? If you are a person that is below the age of 23, it's a strong possibility you're going to vote for Biden. If you are a person that is white between the ages of 25 and 30, it could go either way, right? So those are the swing voters because we got a lot of feminine men and we got a lot of masculine men. And so different people, depending on their circumstances, are going to vote according to whatever their financial situation is. The key is the people between the 30 and 54, 55 years old, because all of them have different experiences. If you dancing on the lawn like Billy Porter and you like to wear a dress, you're probably going to go for Biden. If you live in a trailer park and you had difficulty finding a job, you're probably going to vote for Trump. If you're a black man and you make over $150,000 a year, you're probably going to vote for Trump. So the demographics, in my opinion, has already been set. We know who it is. If you're a black woman living in the United States of America and you're not a part of the Millionaire Morning Show, you're definitely going to be voting for Biden. It's just the facts. You know what I'm saying? If you're a black man and you're living with a black woman that is voting for Biden, you're going to have to secretly vote for Trump. So I think that everything has already been mapped out. I believe these debates at this point is really just for entertainment purposes. I don't think that anybody is going to sway anybody's opinion one way or another. So it's got to be for entertainment purposes.
I think the Democrats are winning the expectations game. In collusion with the media, they're winning the expectations game, and they've rigged it to win.
They've rigged it in every single sense of the word. It's CNN moderating the debate in their home turf with no live audience. This would be like the equivalent of hosting the debate in Mississippi with Donald Trump hosted by Fox News with the 3,000-person audience. And yet I respect Donald Trump for agreeing to those terms anyway, because the fact of the matter is this is a debate that the American people deserve to see on fair terms. Does that mean it's going to be fair? Of course it's not. But I think President Trump is ready to show the people who he really is. And one thing I think I'd like to see come across, and I think will come across, Jesse, is that Donald Trump can actually be the president who unites this country. Joe Biden ran on a message of national unity. He has failed miserably. Trump's approach to unity is different. Success is unifying. Excellence is unifying. And the excellence of that record of a growing economy, a sealed southern border, global stability, that is excellence. And that's how he's going to unite the country, not just through rhetoric, but through action. And I think that will come across in a way that Americans, you know what, you got to give the voters more credit than sometimes the pundits give them. They're going to be able to see through the shenanigans that CNN and their moderators put up. And that's why I'm optimistic that despite the traps they've laid, Trump can still come out stronger for it.
What about Hillary's advice? I mean, if Hillary's advice is true and these are going to be the game plans, he's just going to talk about January 6th for 90 minutes. He's going to call him a convicted felon, a bankrupt bozo that's going to bring more chaos and racism to the country. And Trump's not going to be able to talk. He's going to have to hold his breath.
Look at those two people on the left, on the right-hand side. Hillary freaking Clinton, whose claim to fame is that she stuck by her husband while he was getting some head inside of the White House. Hillary freaking Clinton. Barack Obama, whose landmark moment was making sure that he advocated for and still stands on behalf of the alphabet community. Barack freaking Obama. Unreal. Jesus Christ.
Compose himself because his mic's going to be muted, and then he's going to have to fire back. If he's firing back at all these hoaxes and smears the whole time, is he not getting his unifying message across on policy?
Of course, that's what they're going to try to stop him from doing, Jesse. And I think President Trump is experienced at this point. He's led this country against the backdrop of an impeachment hoax, a Trump-Russia collusion hoax. So I think he's set up to do well here. But if I was giving advice to Joe Biden, here's what it would be, is don't take Hillary Clinton's advice because she is conflicted as an advisor. Remember, if Biden bombs, there's a lot of people waiting in line, salivating for that DNC nomination. No doubt Hillary Clinton's one of them. So when you have an advisor who has a bit of a personal conflict of interest.
Look at that hag. Jesus Christ. She need to get on that Ozempic.
You might want to think twice before you follow their advice.
Does Obama have...
Let me pivot for a second. I know that he jumped on another Fox News show and he was giving his opinion. I want to see his opinion on this also.
Sources are telling CNN that the president has now been told by his advisors to shy away from talking too much about what he's done for the bulk of the last 3 years.
Joining us now is Vivek Ramaswamy, former 2024 presidential candidate. Vivek, it took 16 people to come up with this?
The reality is these people have been wielding Biden as their puppet for a very long time. They're going to play their puppet tomorrow night in one more way. The reality is President Trump is actually quite brave to step up for this debate in CNN on the other side's home turf in the middle of Atlanta with no live audience. It would have been the equivalent of Biden going to Alabama in front of 3,000 people hosted by Fox News. No way Joe Biden would have done that. So I think Donald Trump has already won the debate by showing up on the terms that Biden demanded and demonstrating to this country that he's really ready to not only lead this country, but unite this country in a way that Biden has failed miserably to do. And I think he's going to come across great tomorrow night.
And, you know, with Joe Biden, I mean, he has been in this this airplane.
Spit it out, lady.
Where they keep the airplane, the hangar, I'm sorry, with all of these people going in and out with golf carts. I mean, it's like they're making a movie. What do you think they're doing in there with Joe Biden? I mean, he's a president. Doesn't he already know his job?
Well, one can only speculate, but I do believe that the whole thing is somewhat of a concrete poem, Judge. It's actually a way in which this whole thing is a production, an artifice. You got Steven Spielberg designing it. It's designed with the effects of a movie studio, they say. Well, that's like this whole Potemkin village of the entire presidency. It is a projection of artifice. Bidenomics with one set of facts, the economic reality for Americans another. Claiming to do something about the southern border when we have the largest influx of illegal migration in the history of this country. So in a certain way, that debate preparation and the movie studio antics is a perfect encapsulation of the falsehood of this presidency in the first place.
All
but the
right.
good news is I think the American people have been lied to before. They're prepared to see through it.
They was calling Biden old back when he was with Obama, because the stark difference between him and Obama, as far as even being able to communicate, and they were saying that they needed a steady older man's hand.
The New York Times is going to be
a steady older man's hand in order to make sure that Obama stayed in his place. It seems like Obama is the one that's actually running his presidency right now. And I do think that it's a little bit biased. Of course it's biased, because CNN obviously is a left-leaning news organization, profit-driven news organization. And so when they set up all of these things that it's not going to be a live audience, that they automatically going to be able to mute the mics, it just seems like it's going to be hostile territory. But I like going into hostile territory. I think that this is a win for him.
deploying 29 fact checkers to CNN's presidential debate between Biden and former President
29
Trump on
fact
Thursday.
checkers.
Do you think this is a little much?
Well, look, the reality is I think it's perfectly reasonable to have progressive-leaning publications state their opinions. We're in a country where you have the freedom to speak, after all. But the problem with institutions like the New York Times, or CNN for that matter, is that they pretend to be neutral institutions when in fact just purveying progressive
We all
political
know that
views.
they're not neutral.
So I have no problem if you want to publish progressive political views, but just own it. Call your news page what it is. It is an opinion page. And the reality is these fact checks have been time and again proven wrong. Just look at the last election, the Hunter Biden laptop story. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Proven to be true when they said it was false. Right. The origin of COVID. They have not learned their lesson of humility. And the sad fact of the matter is that's why Americans distrust the mainstream media. And tomorrow's going to be a great night for them to hear directly from both candidates.
What up,
President Trump
426?
to shine.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a very entertaining conversation. I can't wait to review it and break it down tomorrow. Maybe I'll do